Hi. Okay, today's video is about those burning questions that have been keeping you up at night. If you're nosy like me anyway. I've decided to put myself in the hot seat, so instead of interviewing somebody else, I'm gonna be letting you interview me. From the secrets behind my videos to the science stuff that keeps me up at night. And nothing's off limits, so let's dive straight into it, shall we?
Are you ready, kids?
Why are you so handsome? It's not fair on the rest of us. Selfish. Really? I would have preferred it if you'd left the sarcasm to me. I haven't shaved my head in over a week or my face, and I've got a giant zit on my lip. That isn't really handsome, is it? Who is your favourite music artist? At the moment, it's a guy called Teddy Swims. I discovered him during COVID. He was working as a delivery driver, but he couldn't work, obviously, because the whole world was in lockdown. So he started uploading cover versions to YouTube, and now he's a world-known pop star, and his music is absolutely amazing. I'll link him below so you can check him out. Are there any conspiracy theories you think are likely? Now, when it comes to conspiracy theories, I tend to tread very carefully because history has shown us that there have been certain events that were initially dismissed as conspiracy theories, which have turned out to be completely true. I find a lot of different theories interesting, but do I believe any of them? Not really, no. How long have you been married, and do you have any children? I've been married for 32 years and I've got 3 children. How many people does it take to run the channel? Now, I'm going to expand on this answer a little bit more than the question actually asked for. It takes around 4 people to run a channel the size of my channel. But how many people actually are involved directly in running my channel? Just me. And the reason for that is, despite what some people think, channels my size don't make a lot of money. I'm actually earning less than minimum wage in the UK for the number of hours I put into my videos each week. I work 7 days a week from roughly 8 o'clock in the morning until about 6, 7 o'clock in the night. And that's every single day to try and get 3 videos out a week. And some weeks I just run out of time, which is why quite often the Sunday episode is the one that gets missed out. And just because I know that some people have asked me this, even though it wasn't submitted as a question, that's part of the reason why I don't live stream anymore. I bet you wish you hadn't asked now, don't you? What kind of extraterrestrial life would you want to be discovered? Intelligent so you can converse with, or non-intelligent that you could study, observe? I wouldn't really want to study or observe it. Well, observe maybe. I don't know, but I would want alien life to be such that I could just sit down and have a chat with it. I would have so many questions, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But I just think it would be really cool to be able to get the opportunity to do it. And who knows, maybe one day we will. Because I think there are other intelligent life forms out there somewhere. I mean, when you consider how vast the universe is, I think it would be quite ignorant of us to think that we were that special, that we were the only ones. But who knows, I could be completely wrong and we are the only ones in the universe. How many hats do you have and what's your favourite? Now, if my wife sees this video and I get in trouble, I'm holding you personally responsible. I've got way more than 100 hats. My fedoras, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they were all quite expensive. So right now, this is my favourite. But I also quite like this one. And then there's this one, which is quite special because it's signed by an artist that I like called Mr. Brainwash. I got to meet him a few weeks ago. And if it's hot outside, there's this or this. This was the first fedora I bought. It's a Brixton. And sometimes this is my favourite. I don't wear this one that often because I haven't got many brown outfits. Because who wants to walk around dressed like a giant turd? And this is the one I wear the most often, that you would have seen in videos the most often. I knew somebody would ask this. Can you say Llanfair, Pwll Gwynget, Gogerich, Windrobo, Llandyssilio, Go Go Goch all in one go? Yes, I can. Hang on a second, I know how many smart asses I've got that watch my videos and they're gonna say, oh, but we didn't see you say it, Creaky. Llanfair, Pwll Gwynget, Gogerich, Windrobo, Llandyssilio, Go Go Goch. See, I said it twice. Are there any flatards you instantly regret doing a video on after you picked them? Nope. If I can't stand behind the things I say, then I shouldn't be making videos. So absolutely not. They're all idiots. Hi Creaky, as a long-time watcher, I've seen over the years that you are an LGBTQ ally, and I've also seen you lose a lot of followers for simply supporting trans people. Do you think mentioning trans people in a positive way hurt your channel? And what do you think about the people who unfollowed you because of your allyship? Well, first of all, thank you very much for your question. That really does mean a lot to me that you think that I am able to support and uplift the LGBTQ community, of which I'm not a member. But the way I see it is people are people, and everybody deserves to be treated with exactly the same amount of respect. Why should it matter if somebody's gay? Why should it matter if somebody's trans? My mind will not compute that way of thinking. And as far as the people who unsubscribe every time I make some piece of content that includes trans people, bye-bye then. This isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. I get comments. Oh, Creaky, I can't believe you support trans people. Well, believe it, bitches. And don't let the door hit you in the arse on the way out. Doodle pip. Are you planning to do another music video? Well, to be honest, I've got no plans to do another one, and I didn't really have a plan to do that one. It just sort of happened by itself. But I suppose never say never, you know, it may be something I'll do again because it was great fun to make and I thought it was really funny. And the number of people who actually thought that I was seriously trying to be a rapper absolutely blew my mind. It was meant to be fun. It was meant to make you laugh. I'm not trying to be the next Eminem. Are you a resident of Swansea? Yes, I am. What is your work background before YouTube, and do you still have a day job? I don't even know where to start answering this. I have done so many different things. It is mind-blowing. I never, ever had a job where I was happy. I always wanted to be self-employed. But go right back to the very beginning. I worked in the motor trade for years. I was a van delivery driver. Then I worked in the parts department. Then I was a parts manager. Then I managed the filling station. And then after that, I went back to the motor trade. After the motor trade, I went to... believe it or not, I worked in a nursing home as a carer for 2 years because I had this idea about doing my nurses training, but it just never worked out that way. After that, I got a job as a sales rep for Pepsi in the UK, and I was with them for about 10 years, and they made me redundant. And to be honest, being made redundant by Pepsi was the best thing that ever happened to me, because using my redundancy money, I set up a sign company, which I had for 10 years. I closed the sign company. Some of you will remember that when I was making videos 5 years ago, I was making them in my office, in my sign shop. And it got to a point where I decided that I wanted to double down on YouTube. So I closed the sign company. And as a lot of you will also know, I also had a vape shop that my sons worked in. And unfortunately, COVID literally killed the vape shop, and we had to close it in November last year. I also had a sandwich van somewhere in amongst that lot as well, where I used to deliver sandwiches to industrial units and that kind of thing. And it was called Nice Baps. But I've always been childish, what can I say? But as of right now today, YouTube is my full-time job, and I've got no other source of income. What is the wildest conspiracy theory you've ever heard? For me, I think the wildest one is that lizard people are running the world, because it is just completely ridiculous and has absolutely no basis of truth at all. But my favorite conspiracy theory is flat earth, obviously, because it's so completely ridiculous, because it's simple to prove that the earth isn't flat, and every single flat earther, even the ones that say they aren't lying, know that they are. They're just lying to themselves and everyone around them. Can you foresee a situation where flat earthers finally give up the fight and accept evidence provided, or is it potentially a never-ending cycle of free content for debunkers? Oh, and why can't I place your accent? Well, you can't place my accent because I don't have one. As far as flat earthers go, yeah, it's definitely a never-ending cycle of content for people like me, because it doesn't matter. Even the current flat earthers, and the perfect example is Seek Truth, Speak Truth, the guy I interviewed in the last episode. He's no longer a flat earther. He came to his senses, so to speak. But as long as we've got the internet, there will always be flat earthers and other conspiracy theorists for people like me to make videos about. How old were you when you got your first tattoo, and what was it? I was 17. I lied about my age. I went in there with fake ID, obviously, and I didn't tell my parents because my mother is really against tattoos. She absolutely hates them and still does. My first tattoo was a single red rose with a scroll going through it with MAM in it, M-A-M. Because I thought that would butter my mother up and that she would be accepting of the fact that I had sneaked off and got a tattoo done. Oh, how wrong was I? She was not impressed. Can we see that sweet hairstyle you have? It's so interesting and I've only caught glimpses of it. You mean this hairstyle? It's not exactly a hairstyle. I've got dreadlocks on the back of my head. I'll try and show you now. That's it, really. Just 4 dreadlocks growing out of the back of my head, and they go down as far as almost as far as my butt cheeks. If you could go to space, would you? Now, if you'd asked me this question a few years ago, the answer would have been without doubt, absolutely not a chance, because I'm really afraid to fly. But as I'm getting older, and the fact that I now have medical intervention that helps me with flying, I take Valium to fly, I'm a lot better than I used to be. So as long as I could get my doctor to prescribe me enough Valium so that I could make the flight to space, then I think I would, yeah, because it looks absolutely awesome, and it would be amazing to go up there myself, even if I just had my phone in my pocket so I could take a picture of the Earth and do one of these to all the flat earthers who say that we don't have any real pictures of it. What kind of motorcycle do you own? Well, at the moment I've got 2 Harley Davidsons. I've got a 2009 Sportster 883, which is a single-seater, but I am selling it. I promise you, Mrs. Blinder, I'm definitely selling it because I don't use it anymore. And I also have a 2010 Street Glide, which is, it's absolutely amazing. It's outstanding. And maybe one day I'll show you in a video or something, but I'm not going to do that today because it sounds like a lot of work. What inspired and currently inspires you to make the content you do? Really good question. And I've told this story before, but not in a video format like this. So I had wanted to do something on YouTube for the longest time. I just didn't know what exactly it was I was gonna do. Now, I tried a few various bits and pieces. I did some vape reviewing, and then YouTube pulled the plug on that because you couldn't monetize it. My family and I did a vlog for 12 months that did okay, but never really generated any income or anything like that. So I was sort of looking around Facebook and I was searching for things like how to be a YouTuber. And I stumbled across a group of people that were all talking about exactly that sort of thing. And there was a lady in that group called Pam Duthie, and she was talking about this guy on YouTube who was making fun of flat earthers and that his channel was growing at an incredible rate. And the person she was talking about was Simon Dan. So I went looking for Dan's channel and I found it. And the first video I clicked on, it was actually Conspiracy Cats in the video, not Dan. I think Cats was making a piece of content, whatever it was. But I thought that Conspiracy Cats was Simon Dan. So I watched that video and I just thought, well, that's not for me. You know, you've got to be smart to do that kind of thing. So I just carried on doing what I'd been doing, looking for ways to make it work and whatnot. And then something made me revisit Dan's channel, and that's when I saw Dan himself rather than Conspiracy Cats. And it got me thinking. I thought, well, he's doing it from a very scientific, viewpoint, but I can't do that. It would take a lot of work. I'd have to learn all these new things. So I thought, I know what I can do. I've always had a big mouth and probably a lot too much to say. So I'll give it a go. And I found a video from Nathan Thompson, and I made the video. It's still on my channel now. I'll try and remember to link it below if you haven't seen it. And Nathan Thompson saw the video and he shared it in his Facebook group and it got massive engagement, and that's what initially gave me the idea to make the type of content I make now. What is Wales like? If I visit Wales, what should I be sure to see? Welsh stuff. It's everywhere here. You literally can't throw a rock without hitting something Welsh when you're in Wales. I'll be honest with you, because I live here, I don't really give it much thought, but I live very close to the Gower Peninsula, which is a beautiful part of Wales. You know, we've got the Brecon Beacons, the Black Mountains. It's a beautiful place, and you don't appreciate it being here. So just visit anywhere in Wales. No, not anywhere, because there's some absolutely shit parts as well. As a Welshman, what would you like to say about Tom Jones? I think you mean Sir Tom Jones, who is an absolute legend. And I've got a very interesting story about Tom Jones that was told to me by the person who used to own the garage that was next door to my sign shop. Now, Tom Jones started his career as a pub singer in the Welsh Valleys, and this guy I know was very good friends with Tom Jones. They grew up on the same street, and while Tom Jones was in these pubs singing, the guy from the garage next to me and a few of his other friends would steal all the lead off the roof of the pubs, and then they'd go and weigh it in and split the money, all being done while Sir Tom Jones was distracting people with his amazing voice. Creaky. If you could add a new topic to make videos about along with the ones you currently make videos about, what would it be? Probably I would like to make content about things that are trending, because those videos do huge numbers, but I am acutely aware that that isn't what people signed up to my channel to watch. So it's a case of me trying to weave them in as and when I can, and very occasionally I can do it. You know, like the vampire woman I made a video about a few months back. That would be a perfect example of that. Because I love channels like Leon Lush and Umperville, but they are both younger guys. And in the case of Umperville, he's much younger. I've probably got underpants that are older than he is. So I have to be careful that I don't come across as this weird old man who's mocking younger people on the internet, if that makes sense. It didn't make sense to me and I just said it, so... What is your biggest pet peeve? Answering questions. Oh, you're still here then. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something new. If you did, then you'll probably enjoy this video as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you all again very soon, or in a few minutes if you do decide to watch this recommended video. Love you, bye.